Welcome back to Building a Website Security Analyzer series. In our previous video, we discussed the project structure and the exciting journey ahead. Today, we are diving right into the creation process of our Website Security Analyzer. We'll walk you through the step-by-step guide to get started. Before we begin, let's make sure we are working with the right dependency and versions. We'll create a virtual environment, install Django and Django REST framework, and freeze the dependency into requirement.txt file. Now open your command prompt. Okay, so to open your command prompt, just hit right click on any window. Okay, then you have this option open partial windows here. Okay, first let's create a virtual environment for our project. Type the following command: Python -m venv venv. So the name of my virtual environment will be virtual venv. Okay. Also, please make sure that you are using Python 3.8 version because in the complete series I'm going to be using the same version. Let's click enter. Okay. So this will create a new virtual environment named venv. So next thing that we need to do is to activate our virtual environment. On Windows, use this following command. Name of your directory venv. After that, directory inside it called as scripts, and then the command called as activate. And when you press enter, it's going to be activated. So you see here in green, it's denoted that our virtual environment is active now. The next thing that we need to do is install the required packages. Okay, so to do that, we're going to be running this command with install and then the package name, which is Django. We're going to be installing Django first. And the version I'm going to be using in this complete tutorial will be 3.1.7. So the version will be 3.1.7. And then just click enter. Okay, my bad, I just typed the wrong setting here. Okay, so with this, it's going to be installing Django 3.1.7 in our virtual environment. So next thing that we need to do is install Django REST framework. Okay, to do that, we're going to write this command pip install and then the word and then the name of the library, which will be Django -REST framework. And then equals to 0.1. And then press enter. This will install Django REST framework in our system. Okay, once that's done, our next task is to freeze all the requirements that are there for this project inside file called as requirement.txt. Okay, so to do that, we're going to use this command pip freeze and then this arrow shape and then write the name of file requirement.txt. Press enter. Okay, so this is going to be creating a file called as requirement.txt in our folder. So if I open it, we have Django 3.1.7 and Django REST framework and all necessary libraries that Python installed when we type pip install Django and pip into Django REST framework. Okay, so as we have Django installed and Django REST framework installed, so next thing is to create a project. Okay, so to create a project, we're going to use Django admin command. So just use the command that I'm using, Django -admin, and after that, start project. And then the name of the project. So we're going to be using Website Security Analyzer as the name of the project. So type Website Security Analyzer and then press enter. Okay, so basically this is going to be creating a directory here, and inside this directory we have one more directory called the Website Security Analyzer, which will be our main project folder. Okay, so once that's done, what we're going to do is we're going to go inside our project folder. So just type cd and then website security analyzer. So now we are inside our website security analyzer folder. So now next task is to create a sub app. Okay. So for this project, we're going to be having two important apps called as account and another one will be analyzer. To create this two apps, we're going to be using this command Python manage.py start app. Okay. So Python manage.py and then start app. What will be the name of our app? Account. And then just press enter. The second app we're going to be creating is analyzer app. Okay, so if I go back to our directory, you can see the account and analyzer app present there. Okay, so it has some default files present. For example, views, models, apps, admin, and same goes for the analyzer app. Now, as we have these two apps created, we need to mention these two apps inside the settings file of our website security analyzer project. Okay, so just go inside this settings file. I'm going to be using VS Code to open the file. Okay, so this file will look something like this. The first thing that I'll say you should do is add star over here. This is just for the testing purposes for now. This is not recommended when we do deployment. And here we need to add the name of our apps, because one is account, another one is basically analyzer. So this is how we're going to be linking our installed apps in Django settings file. Okay, so next thing is going to be linking the URLs of our account as well as the analyzer. Okay, so in this project, I'll prefer to be using this IDE, which is basically from IntelliJ. I prefer it mostly. So I opened our project that we created in this IntelliJ IDEA. And now, as we have already created our apps, let's proceed to configure URLs for both the apps. So to do that, what we need to do is just create URLs file in both the applications. So first creating the account. Okay, so new and then Python file. We want to name it urls.py. Okay, so in this file there will be a list of URL patterns. So I'm just going to do that. This one. Okay, so by using path, we're going to map all the URLs over here. Okay, so for now it will be we'll just keep it as it is, only URL patterns, and further as we go we're going to keep on adding URLs over here. Okay, by using the path. Okay, now let's go inside analyzer, new Python file, we'll name it URLs and then click enter. URL patterns equals to, okay, it's just the same thing. Okay, now as we have URLs file in the account as well as analyzer, we need to link it somewhere, right? To do that, we're going to be going inside our urls.py file of our main app. Okay, which will be present inside the website security analyzer inside that URL. So by default there will be admin URL present. Now we're going to be adding another one for the account app. We're going to be using account / in the smaller case. Okay, now we're going to include it. Okay, so we're going to type include and then it's the function, and here we need to pass the path for it. So account dot basically URL. This will be inside quote and then import this Django URL include. So same thing goes for the analyzer. As it's the list, I'm going to use comma. So now we all set. Next, now let's configure our MySQL database settings. To do that, we're going to be opening settings.py, which is inside basically our main project directory. Here we're going to be searching for databases object, and here we're going to be configuring it. Okay. So to configure that, I'm going to be directly using the documentation. Okay. So this is basically official documentation by Django So here you see for MySQL, we are going to be using this settings. Okay. So default, then we have engine, which will be a MySQL engine, and then all the options we're going to be providing through the configuration file. And configuration file is going to be containing the database name, user, password, and default character set. So let's do this. So I'm just going to be copying engine and options. Rest will remain same. Okay, so here let's name our file database.cnx. So we need to create this file inside our main directory, this one. So right click new and new file. So this will be our database configuration file. I'm going to be just copying the default configuration they provided. So name, we're going to be using website security analyzer. Website security analyzer. The user will be same, website security analyzer, and password will also be same. So this project we're going to be testing on our local system, so we can set any password as we want, but when it's on some cloud, I'll prefer to have a more complicated password than this. So let's go back to documentation and let's see what else we can add. Also, we have this init command where we're going to set default storage engine as inodb. So I'm just going to be copying this, and then here I'm going to be adding it. So with that, we are done with the database configuration. Next, we'll configure a Django REST framework. Okay. So for this, in the settings.py, I'm going to be adding this default configuration file. I'll say that you guys please use the same one. So I'll explain what's inside this particular dictionary. Okay. So first of all, we have this default permission classes, and we're going to be using is authenticated as a permission class. The second thing, we are going to be using a token authentication. That's what we mentioned using this default authentication classes. Here you can use even JSON authentication, JWT, basic authentication, session authentication, but for this project we're going to be using token authentication. After that, we have default pagination class. We are going to be using this limit offset pagination. I'll explain what this is, and the page size is 5. Okay, so that's it. We have successfully completed the step-by-step guide to create our website security analyzer project. In the next video, we'll continue building upon this foundation, adding more functionality and enhancing the security features. Thank you for watching this video, where we created the project using Django admin command, set up the MySQL database configuration, registered account, analyzer apps, configured Django REST framework settings. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of upcoming videos. Stay tuned as we continue our journey of building website security analyzer.